Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Farron, your fashion guru, and today is the first day of the So Sustainable Christmas gift projects. We're gonna have new projects for the next 5 days. Wouldn't you want to make more gifts out of just the things that you have around your house? I would. We're gonna be changing plastic into a cute little travel kit. I know you wanna make one of these. So don't forget to subscribe. Let's get started. So this is my fashion studio. My name is Farron. Okay guys, so the first step in making this travel kit out of plastic is finding your plastic. Search through your house. Don't go buying plastic, okay? We want to be able to recycle the things that we have around our house. What we're going to be doing is taking this plastic and we're going to be ironing it into a sort of material to use for our project. It could be any plastic, really. It could be something like this. It could be something like this. This is actually really great because you can make different patterns and textures with these sort of things. The one thing we don't want is something like this, like the eco bags that are biodegradable or compostable, because they really just, they shrivel up. Step number 2 is going to the iron. You have to make sure that it is well ventilated. You're going to need some baking paper, the non-stick baking paper. Now that we have it on the ironing board, you need a second piece to go on top. So you're going to be sandwiching the plastic on the inside, right? Because you don't want to be ironing your plastic. It's going to get stuck to your iron. You have to figure out what kind of thickness you're going to need. So it's kind of an experiment on how your plastic reacts to ironing. So first, do a little test. Sometimes the plastic shrinks a lot and then, you know, it gets really thin. So you may have to double or triple or quadruple up your plastic. So we've ironed that. Okay, so that's good, but you know, we want something a little bit thicker. We're gonna have to fold it again. So already we have now 4 layers. Kind of cool. We're getting this like texture. By the way, I also have my iron set at a high heat. So how do I use this to get this? It's cool, right? I'm gonna just prep this by taking out these things here because we don't need that. So now that we have this, we can sort of mold it and shape it. And then what I would do is take your parchment paper. That looks pretty cool, right? And then we're gonna iron all this flat and it's gonna be our material. Okay, so I'm finding that this corner is a little too flimsy, so I'm gonna add just like a little piece of plastic underneath as like a support. So this is what is so great about plastic and experimenting with your materials, is you kind of make it up as you go. That's the beauty of it, right? Like it's kind of an art in itself. Just take a piece, stick it underneath or on top, whatever. Okay. Amazing, I love it. Okay, now that we've finished ironing and we have our material, we need to work on the pattern, right? That's basically it. Your pattern looks like this, and I will leave all the measurements and the pattern link in the description below. So let's get into cutting this material and let's see if it actually fits. Guys, it doesn't fit. No, it doesn't. My fabric is a little bit wrinkly, like it got a little bumpy. You just put a whole bunch of weights on it. And for my weights, I use rocks. I have my own bowl of rocks. So So we're just going to place my rocks here and here. I also need my scissors. Thanks. We're just gonna cut around our shape here that we've made. So when you cut out these little rectangles out of your pattern, just keep these, hold on to them because we might use these for the little tabs. I use fabric, so you can do that too. It's really up to you. You are the designer here, okay? Next, we have to find a zipper. In order for you to find the zipper length, you measure the ends of your pattern. Okay, so this is 11 inches. But we have to make an account for the seam allowance. You're going to need a 10-inch zipper. This one happened to be 10 inches, so that's perfect. However, I don't have another 10-inch zipper, and this could also happen to you, that you have a longer zipper. So I'm gonna show you how to take these rectangles and shorten your zipper for this project. You can finish the zipper on both ends and have these little stoppers that match the case. So essentially, we're kind of just making it cuter. Now that we have our zipper and we have our piece cut out and we have our notches cut and everything like that, we can go to the sewing machine. This is the fun part. There are a few things that you should know in order to sew plastic. One of them is your presser foot. And you're going to need this thing called a Teflon foot. Is something that looks like this. It's basically a plastic foot. If you don't have a Teflon foot, there is an easy hack because the metal has a tendency to stick to the plastic when you're sewing it. So you're gonna have some problems. So what you could do is take some tape. I have painter's tape because it's nice and slippy. Yes, that's a word, okay, slippy. And you just take a piece and you tape the bottom of your presser foot, okay? Cut around it, la la la. Make sure you leave a hole for the needle. I mean, you can try it. We have our ruler. We just need to measure out 10 inches on our zipper here. Starting from the top of the zipper head to where we want the end of our zipper at 10 inches. I've marked it. Then we're gonna take these like little rectangular pieces that we made. We're gonna sew like a little facing kind of thing to close the zipper top. So I'm just going to sew this piece across here. Okay. This is what it looks like when you stitch on this little thing, okay? Looks like that. All right, and then we're gonna do the exact same to the other side. However, I just wanna sew it probably just like a 1/2 inch or a 1/4 inch just above that line because this is where the zipper ends. And so we just need just a little bit. You can see your line right there. Cool. All right, so just stitch across your zipper and this basically just stops your zipper. It's like your new zipper stopper. Careful over your zipper teeth here. Cool. That's done. You might want to clip down your seam allowance, just saying. Like that. Okay, cool. Then you take your zipper face down, right side together, right side on top of the edge of your case here. Make sure that you have seam allowance on the top and just match it up with the edge here, and then you have seam allowance at the bottom. Perfect. Okay, so we're basically just stitching along at 1/4 of an inch. We're gonna get that out of the way. There we go. Yes. And voila. See? You can do this little top stitch here. I personally like it because it looks really nice. And it also holds the zipper and the seam allowance down. So we're basically just gonna stitch at like 1/8 of an inch right at this edge. There you go. We have our nice top stitch. Now what we do is we take this, the other side of the case, and we just flip it over. So right sides together. And then we just sew down this line, matching up the edge here. Okay, so now that we've stitched our zipper on, in order for us to do the top stitching, this is going to be a bit of a tricky situation here. So ideally, you would like to have a seam here and that would be super easy, but we don't. So now what? What I'm suggesting to do is to sew, at least get to the center of your zipper and back tack, and then go from the other side, start here, and then go to the center again. Here, center, here, center. You get to watch the struggle. Okay, I think that's about the center. Let me go to the other side. Ha! We did it. We're just gonna cut off these extra tabs evenly, like that. We're almost done. This is fantastic. So the next step is making these cute little tabs, which you see here. So fantastic. I personally like using fabric, but you can use anything. You can use the little plastic leftovers that you have. You can use trim. If you'd like to learn more about making fabric tubes with a loop turner, go check out this video right here and I'll show you all about it. Okay, so we made our little tube. We're just gonna cut it at 4 inches right here. We need 2 tabs at 4 inches. So let's cut the other one. The way that I do it, and to give it a bit of a 3D look, like this, I put right side facing down, and then I kind of twist it this way. And then I make sure that this center is in the center of the zipper. Baste stitch at 1/4 of an inch these pieces on top so they stay in place. Whatever, it's a basting stitch. The next thing you're going to have to make sure is your needle gauge. Since we're going to be sewing a little bit thicker plastic, and some seams are going to be going over 3 or 4 layers of plastic, you have to make sure that your needle gauge is able to do that. So a 14, a 16, or an 18 will be great. We're going to sew the first seam here, which means that you take, oh shit, that doesn't fit. I love when pieces don't fit. You know, when I did this myself, it looked perfect, and now that I am in front of the camera, now it looks like poop. Okay, so what you do is you sew this length where your zipper is. These 2 pieces, see this? These 2 pieces go together, matching the center notch with the center of your zipper. This side, we're gonna go right here, and this is where our zipper is. Stitch that at 1/2 inch. I know, it's a bit much in terms of a seam allowance, but that's what's on the pattern. A tip. Okay, what you want to do is unzip your zipper before you start sewing the other side, because once you sew all of this together, you have to flip it onto the right side, and you might have some trouble opening your zipper when everything is closed, right? So that's just a little secret. It's a little tip. Same thing on the other side. In order for us to make this kind of like a 3D shape, we're going to take these pieces and just it's like a diagonal, you know, like this. So we're gonna be sewing from here down, 1/2 inch all the way down. This is how you make the 3D shape. It's pretty cool, right? And then we're gonna be done. Okay, things are taking shape here. We're just gonna sew the other 2 and then we're done. So easy, so sustainable. I'm burning some of these threads so they stay. Are you ready for the reveal? We're gonna turn it to the right side. I love it. That's done. And how amazing is that? We were able to make the material and sew plastic to make something as a gift. Pretty cool, right? I would love to see what you guys are making, so please tag us at LTRL Trend on Instagram, or you can join my new Telegram group and we can share all of our photos and our gifts and our projects that we're making for Christmas. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share this video if anyone else would also like to make this as a gift, and stay tuned for more So Sustainable Christmas projects coming up tomorrow. Bye! I'm really pissed because I don't know where my 10-inch zippers are, and I have a pile of zippers right here and there is no 10-inch zipper. Why? It's so annoying.